Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Today is April the 8th and it is Monday evening, 7 p.m. Central Standard. Let's get on with it here. We're going to talk about some couple things here today. One, we're going to review NQ here and possibly a couple other charts. And also, as I'm kind of discussing the charts here too, just want to talk a little bit about you know, a little bit about mindset, as much as I could here, and how to think and what to really look for as you're trading. Now, this is all just my opinion here, so, um, take it as you wish, but let's get going here. So, I have a split screen here, first of all, of NASDAQ and Q futures. On the left is a 2-minute chart. On the right is a 4-minute chart. So reason I do this is it can also help you think a little bit and kind of plan your trade if you're not really clear about using lower time frames. It's okay to go to a higher time frame and kind of confirm things too. So this is what I used to do, earlier on. I found it that the higher time frame, for instance, like a 4-minute or 5-minute, I really like the 4-minute chart. The candles have a little bit less noise than a 2-minute or a 1-minute chart that I like to trade on. So I really look on this thing too. One, also for the TSI, it kind of smooths out the bands of the TSI and can help you stay in the trade longer. And two, you can also spot divergences, a little bit easier since there's less market noise. So here's a good example. Okay, so right here in the 2-minute chart, okay, you do have price here making a higher high, and down below on the oscillators here, which is the ultimate oscillator on top, TSI, and the TTM squeeze. All three of these right here are pointing down. There's a shift in the momentum of the oscillators right here. Okay? So on the opposite end right here, you can only find that really on the TSI and on the TTM squeeze, which is fine. Okay, so if you're really not too sure about a lower time frame like this, try bumping it up a little bit, and then I like to wait for the trading oracle signal right here. So you can really see it right here. So after you do find that divergence, just wait for the signal. It usually comes in after a few bars and you can take the trade. Same thing right here. So if you're looking at 2 minutes, you can really see how it could be a little bit choppy and can make make a few of you really nervous. But by looking at a higher time frame, it can kind of ease that nervousness a little bit and gradually get rid of that FOMO. So this is what I used to do right here. And then just kind of follow on price. After you enter your trade, I like to enter it on a lower time frame, like on a 2-minute. But after you enter your trade, then you can follow along on the TSI. Now you can see right here, and I'm going to use a vertical line here as a marker. So if I got in like right here, and price is pushing down, you can see your TSI now. It's underneath the 0 line, which is great. Your ultimate oscillator is also underneath the 0 line, which is great, and your TTM is also under the 0 line too. But the really cool thing about looking at the 4-minute time frame here is that it's not showing that the market, that price action here is actually going to reverse at this stage right here. If you're looking at it on the 2-minute time frame, because there is more market noise in here, even though we're still under the zero line, there's already a crossover right here, and that can make some people nervous, which I can understand. So this is why it's always good to look at something a little bit higher right here, and it keeps the it keeps the TSI, much smoother, and it can make you stay in the trade a little bit longer. Okay, so and then once you reach a point of interest, which I have a marker right here, this rectangle, this red rectangle, because of the left, I'll always look to the left right here. There is market structure here, so there's a good chance that price can stop here and bounce back up. So this is a good area to exit the trade, or if you're really near it and you want to get out, then you can, by all means get out that way. Don't be afraid to try different things as you're trading. Okay, and by that, I mean, if you have another indicator, I know some of you sometimes like to use volume and can figure out how to use a divergence, with volume, or maybe an RSI, whatever oscillator just really suits you. Make sure that you really understand how it works with price action altogether. And, but I like to use market structure to exit. A lot of people, if they're using like a stochastic or an RSI, they'll take it down to possibly the oversold and overbought area, and that can be their trigger to, take profit. There's nothing wrong with that. The idea is that you are picking out an A+ trade setup. Okay, you got to follow your trade setup to enter that trade. Once you're in, okay, and you followed your rules on how to enter the trade, then that's what makes it really gratifying as a trader, and you see this thing through to as far down, in this case a short here, as what your trading plan requires. Okay, mine, I can go down to a market structure, or if I wanted to, you can do like a 1-to-1 risk to reward, or 1-to-2, 1-to-1.5, however you see fit. Okay, so if this still doesn't satisfy you, by all means do not enter a trade. If you're not sure, do not enter a trade. Okay, so even though there's a bearish divergence right here, which is great entry with a signal, there is also, you can also see this peak area right here. Okay, you can see that how I go up right here. So there is also confluence from the other peak coming down right here that is also giving me a bearish divergence. It's giving it to me on the ultimate oscillator and also on the TSI right here. I'm not getting it on the TTM squeeze. So I have a couple confirmations right here. Another confluence right here. That price is higher high. It's making a higher high, and the oscillators are making a lower high right here. So then when you see your trading oracle signal, you can enter the trade and go in. All right, now right before the New York Open right here, we had price moving up, and now I'm getting in here. So I will still check to see if there is some sort of a divergence. Okay, now here I am noticing that price right here did not go higher than this price right there. So when I'm getting the trading oracle signal at this point and right at the open, then I want to see if I can find a hidden divergence, a hidden bearish divergence. Okay, so I really don't see it here, between this peak and this peak right here. Everything is pointing down. The shift is pointing down, which is great too. Okay, so I'm going to use this little arrow tool, and you can really see the shift in momentum on these oscillators right here, and that's all right. Okay, so what this is telling you, and this is obviously going in the red, so what this is telling you is that price is shifting to the downside. Okay, so where are we at over here? Okay, one, we're at a zone, because if you look to the left, we had this really nice, and I spoke about these before, this wick. This is a lone wolf wick, is how I like to call it. Price action likes to react to these right here. So this is why price stopped, at in London session and New York session, is this wick right here too. So we had this over here. You can see it a little bit better on the 2-minute time frame. This little wick right there, and it caused price to stop right there. Okay, so price is shifting to the downside. You can take this because, one, we are also at a minor midline over here too. We're at market structure, and our oscillators are agreeing here, all three of them, that there's a shift to the downside. And if you took this trade, this thing just tanked in the morning, just did really well. Okay, and then stopped at market structure once again. So, So if you can see here on the right side of the screen, the 4-minute, we had, support starting back here from yesterday, from Friday, and continuing on through the London session. We had more support, and then right into the London Open, more support, and then price bounces back up. So, if you're looking at the 4-minute time frame, same thing over here. Price is still showing that shift going down. Nothing is telling me at this point that there's a shift in the market to the upside. So when you see the trading oracle signal, it's okay to take that trade to go down. Okay? So let's see where we're at right here. Okay, so now as price is coming down, right here, we're down to market structure. So this is a good area to exit a trade because of what was happening, to the left. And if I wanted to take a trade now, let's just say, price is, you want to see if there's another divergence to the upside, I'm going to look for possibly a nice bullish divergence, or even a hidden bullish divergence. And hidden divergences are patterns that go with the trend, in the direction of the trend right here. Okay, so if I'm looking on the 4-minute time frame, and you can do this too, you can find the peak level right here, which you want to compare it to. So if you have this area here to this area, okay, and if I'm looking down, I don't see any bullish divergence right here. Okay, so everything is the same. If I go on the 2-minute time frame from here to down here, and if I'm looking at my oscillators, I am not getting a, let's see here, yeah, I'm not getting a bullish divergence. Everything, price is also making a lower low, okay? So in that case, what I want to do then is I want to wait and see if I can find a hidden bullish divergence, just to ease my mind, okay? And that's the one thing that I like about these divergences. For me, it's it just eases my mind and where I'm going to get into a trade. Even though I do see a signal that tells me I need to get into a trade, I really want to, see something that, that'll put me a little bit more at ease when I take a trade, like a divergence, okay? Or if I see a shift in the market and the oscillators in the same direction that, price is moving. So if I'm going to go from this peak area right here to where I see my trading oracle signal, around this peak area, I know it's a little choppy right here. So I want to see if I'm going to find that. So I'm going to use my arrow here because I can already see that the market right here was not giving me a hidden bullish divergence in here. Okay, instead it was telling me that the market is shifting to the upside. Okay, and for some of you that are still a little bit weary, you're going to have to trust your trading plan. You're going to have to trust the system that you're using. Okay, this is the system that I use and I'm sharing. So you got to trust it at some point. If not, then, you have to find other means of entering a trade. Maybe you can only enter a trade when you see like a head and shoulders or an inverse head and shoulders. Those are really nice reversal trades, and you can get that as well with, a trading oracle signal. You can find a nice, this one right here is a nice head and shoulders pattern, on the 2-minute time frame right here. Okay, and when you get the signal, then you can take that trade going down too. But in this case right here, it got a little choppy here right after the morning drop, and then price straightened out and moved up. So you can see there's no divergence, but there's a shift in the market per the oscillators here, and also the TTM squeeze. Everything is to the upside, and you can take that and you can manage your trade this way. And right here it went right up to market structure once again, and you can exit that trade. Okay, so what's happening now on the 4-minute, if you did enter the trade right here, look at the TSI. Okay, it's nice and smooth. So if you are getting into this trade, about right here, look at that. As I'm moving up, okay, the bands that make up the TSI right here, they're not intertwining, they're not even close. Everything, it's still telling you that price is moving up. And then when you reach your target, then you can exit the trade. On the 2-minute time frame, right in here, the TSI is, kissing a little bit, it's, I can still use this, you're going above the 0 line here too, which is a good thing, and that's, just letting you know that right now you're going into bullish territory, but looking at a higher time frame at the same time, on the TSI can ease your mind a little bit, and that's the one thing I like to do sometimes when I'm in a trade. If I'm trading from the phone, then I can switch back and forth time frames and just kind of see how everything is looking. Okay, and the rest of the day, whoever was trading this, you can kind of see it was just really choppy in here. We were in a channel, and you can probably scalp if this channel stayed, as you were starting this channel, I would probably move into like a 1-minute time frame, and because it seemed a little narrow, and then you could probably take some really quick scalps on the 1-minute time frame. So that was just something you would have probably tried. I wouldn't try that, but for some people, it's if that's your thing, by all means, go ahead and do that. Right here, I want to talk a little bit about the EMAs too that can, put your mind at rest a little bit and kind of comparing how they look between the 4 minute and the 2 minute. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this little circle right here and this arrow. I'll even get rid of that right there. So on the 2 minute, as the EMAs are coming down right here, I am also looking at where my VWAP is and my 200 EMA cloud. Let me just get rid of this line right there. Okay, and I also want to compare it to the 4 minute. I want to see where these are and what my EMAs are doing. So as you can see right here on the 4 minute, I have the sequence that I really like, and that is to have VWAP, the cloud, and then the EMA color sequence, which is the red, which is the one that I want to see on the bottom of the teal and or the orange and the teal. If I'm taking a long position, and the opposite if I'm taking a short position, I want to see the EMA on the red EMA on the top, and we'll see examples of that. But none of the EMAs here crossed into the red EMA right in here. Even though you see it a little bit differently on the 2 minute time frame, the 4 minute time frame can, just keep you at bay a little bit and say, okay, you know what, everything is lining up. I got my nice sequence in order to, I'm feeling a little bit more confident, and then you're going to take on a trade like this. Okay? So this is the one thing that I really like about it. Plus, on the 4 minute, this is a slingshot trade. Right here you have the slingshot signal. And for those of you that are new, this little SS stands for slingshot. And the reason I call it a slingshot is because if you see right here, right before the EMAs, they're nicely fanned out and they're apart, and then as price is shifting down here, the EMAs, they're pulling in. So it's like if you had a slingshot on that Y-shaped stick, as you've seen in shows or online somewhere, and the EMAs represent that rubber band. So as the bands pull together right here, it's like the rubber band on the slingshot, you're pulling it back, and when you get the trigger, which is the trading oracle signal, that's your release, and then price takes off, just like how you release the regular slingshot and price takes off. So that's why I call this a slingshot trade right in here. So you'll see plenty of these things along the way. And same thing if it's like a SS Golden, it's very similar to this, it's just how the algorithm is written. So this is also a slingshot trade in here too. Everything just kind of pulls back and then just releases. So, but this one here is a really good example of it. Okay, so let's take a look and see what was happening on Friday and see if we can find some nice divergences here. So on Friday, we can see here, let me just kind of zoom in on the 2 minute. Okay, so you can really see what's going on here. I have, and this is a really thin line. This is the 200 EMA cloud in here, and underneath here I have the VWAP, which is the purple line. So same thing is happening on the 4 minute time frame. Okay, I have VWAP underneath, but I have the cloud a little bit above, but that's okay. All right, because what I'm also trying to find here is my color sequence. I want to see how this is flowing. Okay, so on the 4-minute time frame, you can really see it right in here. It's the red, orange, and teal. Okay, and once again, you are getting that slingshot trade to the upside, but I also want to see if I get a divergence trade in order for me to enter moving up. Okay, so this is important, as I look at it. I really want to see how my EMA sequence is looking, and also where VWAP and the cloud, where they're at right here. So we all know that the 200 EMA is it's slower, so it's kind of positioning itself, as you can see here, to move up. So what I want to see right here, if I'm looking at the 4-minute time frame, is if I could find like a hidden bullish divergence, since right here the candle body didn't close below this low, this bearish candle body right here. So what's happening on the 2-minute time frame, I would be doing the exact same thing here. Is I'm looking right here, and I'm also looking right here at these two areas. I want to see if I can find that bullish divergence or that hidden divergence right in here. So from what I can see right here, I'm getting a bullish divergence right here, which is great, and this is all I need to see in order for me to take on this trade going bullish, after I see my trading oracle signal. If I was using the a hidden bullish divergence right in here, I want to see if I can spot that, and I don't spot that actually on the 2-minute time frame. Okay, so I'm going to avoid this out, but let's just see if just to see if we do have one on the 4-minute time frame also. Okay, so I'm not really seeing it. I do see price shifting down here, but that's up to this point right here. Okay, so but same thing with over here. So the only thing that I see that's valid right now is a divergence pattern from the 2-minute time frame. And and my fault, you know what, there's also on the TTM squeeze right here too. Okay, so it's making a higher high right here. And when you see the signal, then you can get into the trade and move up. So then the really cool thing with that is because I am seeing here too that VWAP and the EMA cloud are below price, after, the signal right here. So, and plus you can see how everything is fanning out. The EMAs are fanning out right here. Okay. And in this case, okay, the TSI is looking pretty smooth right here because these are some really strong bullish candles. There's no noise in here that's that price is like shifting down. Everything is pushing up. I mean, look at this on a 2-minute time frame. Whenever you see that like this, it's nice and clean, then price is pretty strong. If that was either bullish or bearish, this is really nice. Usually you see the TSI kind of kissing a little bit, or the bands getting really close together, but these are nicely nicely apart in here, and then you can see what happened. Okay, even though right here we're getting a little bit of a pullback right in here, we're still above the zero line. Okay, and then you can compare that to the 4-minute time frame. So if you're really looking at this, like how you see like this pullback right here on the 4-minute time frame, it looks more of like just a little retracement going up, and same thing right here. But now as price pushed along in here, look what's happening here. It's the 200 EMA cloud now is underneath the 4 minute. Okay, so we really have a really nice setup in here, and it's giving my mind once again a little bit more peace that price is pushing up. Okay, and then you can take this right to the pivot point. This is this purple line horizontal. That's the main pivot right there. So, and that can be a place for a nice exit. So as price was coming down, you're getting another golden signal, and what I like to do is I like to see if I'm gonna get maybe like a hidden bullish divergence if you wanted to go higher. So I'm looking at the 2 minute time frame. Okay, I'm making my marks, and I do see it right here. It's making a just beautiful hidden bullish divergence, actually on all of the oscillators here, TTM squeeze. There's really good confirmation. Plus, I've got like an amazing color sequence here that I really love to see. It's the red, orange, and teal. I got VWAP and the cloud below. I like to see this right in here, and then price just pushes up. Once again, you can plan your exit strategy once you're in the trade. Okay. On this side, on the 4 minute time frame, you do get it over here too on the TTM, on the TSI, and I can also see the pattern holding on the TTM squeeze, not on the ultimate oscillator right here. So here I'm getting a nice confluence here. All three of them are in. I'm going to enter this, and you can also follow along on the trade on the TSI on the 4 minute time frame too. It's nice and smooth. Even right here on the 2 minute time frame, the TSI, it's nice and smooth, but then it starts to buckle in a little bit right here, but hasn't crossed until you're way up here. Okay, so same thing on the 4 minute. It does cross at one point, and you can exit your trade. Okay, and in this case, I didn't mark the chart right here, but I would be looking to the left to see what is happening with price action. I'm looking for market structure, and I would have seen this right here. So if I had that marked, okay, then as price was coming up, if I'm when I got in a trade here, then you can exit at market structure and got some really nice points. Okay, and you can really see right here it formed a really nice head and shoulder pattern, and you can also see that on the 4 minute time frame. So usually when you see this moving up, especially if you're at market structure, I want to see if I could find a divergence trade right in here. Okay, now since we are still pushing up in here, even if I took this trade right here, it in this case it just didn't go far. Okay, even though you are getting that divergence, and here getting it on all three patterns, didn't go that far. If you're looking at the higher time frame, what is that telling you? That market is really shifting also on here. So even if I entered in here, if it did go up a little bit, I personally would have just waited to see if if price comes back down again, because usually when you have a bullish or a bearish divergence, a reversal divergence like this, sometimes it turns into a head and shoulders. Okay, so this is the left shoulder, this is the head, and then this would be the right shoulder right here. And this does happen a lot of times. So I would still wait. This is why when you enter the trade, you have your stop loss way up here. and try to see what would happen on this end. If this just started to go higher than these candles here, then yeah, that would, you can exit the trade at that point because price might still be pushing up. But in this case, when um, price is gonna come, is coming down, then just let it run a little bit. So, if you're trading, you have to remember, price moves up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, you're gonna get, peaks and valleys, if I want to call them that way, dips, um, you're just gonna have to just let it play out, okay? Because if you don't, this is what drives you crazy right here. Okay, so I'm familiar with head and shoulder trades, and when I see this, I have in my mind that, okay, if this doesn't continue to go down, if it goes up, I'm going to give it a chance to see if this does become a head and shoulders. A lot of times, it might not, it might just continue to go down. In this case, it went up and then it decided to go down. So, and you really had a nice head and shoulders pattern right here, and it went your way. So, looking at the 4-minute time frame, this is the TSI. You don't get another TSI on the right shoulder. So you're trusting this, and because there is less market noise in here, it is giving you less candles in here to really think about what is really happening. Sometimes if you're trading on 1 or 2 minute, the more candles you might see in here, and then you do see, little dips, in price or in price action, then that's what can make people nervous. Okay, but just follow along in here. I mean, you can really see, even if price was pushing towards the right shoulder in here, you can even see how price, from here is pushing down. Okay, if you even draw that trend line right down in here, it's still, even with this crossover, it's still shifting down with the crossover. And same thing with the 4-minute time frame. I mean, this one right here is just like very, very steep going down, and you can see the shift also in momentum on the TSI right in here. It's shifting to go down. That's the nice divergence trade, but there is still no indication on the right shoulder that that it wants to go higher up. So it crossed over and then it continued to further go down. Okay, so that is just something else to keep in mind. Now all this right here, this comes with experience, and this comes with understanding, the tools that you're using. If you're using another indicator, maybe you're used to something that does, and once you see that can ease your mind as you're trading. Okay, I like using these, and this eases my mind as I'm trading. I like how these move. I like the signals that it gives me. Okay, so let's see how we're doing on time. Let's take a look at one more chart. Let's see what was, this was on Thursday here. This was a day that, that market just dropped right in the afternoon here. But I want to show you something right here too. So this is like really cool because, price went up. Okay, what I'm looking for, once again, this is like 7 a.m. This gray area, I like to trade a lot, and within these gray areas, there's a lot of volume that comes in, especially after the New York Open, but even before times, you get some really great trades in here. So the one thing that I really liked about this is that even though price was in a consolidation here. It's in a nice narrow range. It's really tight right in here. I like to see this. I like to see the VWAP and my cloud below all this. Okay, when I see that, and especially if I'm seeing that on a higher time frame too, it's a good indication, high probability that price is going to break up to the top side, and it's going to move a little bit. So, and this is exactly what was happening right here. Sometimes it's really hard to find a good divergence because price is really choppy, as you can see here on the 2 minute. On the 4 minute, we'll take a look at this right here and see if we can find something, even from here on out. I don't really find anything right in here, but what I do like about this is that, we have that color sequence on the 4 minute time frame. Okay, and this is what I like. Even if I was right in here, I see a slingshot, golden signal. I mean, the sequence right here is, we got the cloud, we got VWAP, red, orange, and teal. That's the sequence for a long position. I would have went in right in here, because I've seen this pattern before where, price action is tight like this, and then it'll either break to the downside or to the upside, and with the help of where VWAP and the cloud is, gives me a little bit more confidence to take on something like this. And in this case, price did move up. Okay, so let's see what happens. I mean, look at this. These EMAs, man, everything just fanned out really nicely in here too. The TSI on the 2 minute time frame is so smooth. I mean, look at this thing. When you see that, especially on the 2 minute time frame, really smooth like this, then that is a strong trend. Okay, look at that. That pretty much looks just like on how on the 4 minute time frame. Really nice and smooth. It's a strong trend moving up. Okay, so what's happening up here? Finally, price is slowing down a little bit. We peek into now. I know for a fact there's many times that price, if it's a strong run like this, you're thinking all of a sudden price might just push up all day. So, you really got to wait a little bit and see what's going on. In this case, we had, three little peaks right here, as if you can see them. And I really like these because, this is a pattern that I've seen over and over again. And what that is, I call this like a three-peak bearish divergence. You get these little three peaks right here, and there's high probability that price is going to reverse. Plus, we are at one of the major pivot points right here, and this is a bearish divergence. We're already seeing the shift in momentum, on all the oscillators. Everything is like pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. We have our TSI signal, which we haven't seen in a while in here, and that's pushing down too. So you can take the trade, as per your trading plan in here, and you can really see how it's moving. And you can follow this trade along if you want to on the 4 minute time frame right in here. So if you are entering on the 2 minute, once you're in that trade, look what's happening on the 4 minute. It is smooth, it is a little, curvy in here, and right here it's finally flatlining. Okay, whenever you see this on a higher time frame, or it could even be on a lower time frame, whenever I see it on my TSI as it flatlines like this, if it's underneath the zero line, then I know price is still pushing down. So, and that's a pretty good sign to say. So it doesn't give me any jitters to where to exit. I'm just kind of paying attention. So as price is moving along, you are noticing this little area right here. Okay, so there's like a lot of support right here that you can see really nicely in on the 2 minute time frame. Okay, so what's happening right here? So this is a really good way to use your EMAs if you're comparing the two time frames right here. Okay, so the next thing here I'm looking for is a bullish divergence, which I'm easily finding, okay, on the 2 minute. Okay, and you can see it on the TSI, and you can also see it right here on the TTM squeeze. Okay, so look at that. Right after I get the golden signal, okay, that alerts me, and then I check really fast if I can spot the divergence, which I do. But look what's happening right here. Okay, the color sequence is still right there. Okay, I'm getting the red, orange, and teal. I got the cloud below, and price is right on. VWAP is right at price. So the signal here came. The candle closed right above VWAP, and price once again pushes along. So here you have a little bit of intertwining on the 2 minute. You might think price is going to start shifting to the downside, but it's stopped, by the 200 EMA, and something to the left is making it stop here too. It's probably some sort of, price way to the left. See right here we have resistance areas in here. If you're bringing that out right in here, okay, so you have more confluences in here to to ease your mind that there's a high probability that price is going to shift and go to the top side. Okay, so the one thing I like to see is the sequence on my EMAs. I want to see where the cloud is. I want to see where VWAP is, as well as finding that nice divergence trade. So as price pushes up, this just clearly just went right to the pivot point, and it made a nice double top in here. It made a nice M pattern, as you can see, but we also have a divergence on the 2 minute time frame. Okay, from here to here. I mean, you can clearly see it, on all the oscillators. They go down here and they go down here. Same thing on the 4 minute time frame. It's pushing down right here on the TSI and also on the TTM squeeze. Okay, and if that didn't satisfy you, you can always compare both of these peaks. Okay, so if you're looking at the higher time frame from here to here, okay, you can find a nice bearish divergence easily. I mean, it's all in plain sight right here. Okay, look at that. In this case, this was beautiful. I mean, this was like the market was giving traders like a free day right in here. I mean, this was, you couldn't ask for anything more beautiful. It was if the market was like this all day, every day, it was lovely. I mean, this thing just tanked, just kept on going, just past everything until the bottom right here. So and then you really have to look to the left to see why price went there. There was a nice, I mean, this would have been a really nice area to exit price too. Actually, this is where I thought price was, going, but I mean, it just kept on going. So these things, they do happen time and again. You just have to be prepared for it. So this is where I'm going to end it. Once again, if you're having a little bit of trouble with the lower time frame and entering divergence, you could look at a higher time frame also, and try to compare um, you know peaks and valleys. Try to compare the EMAs and how they're looking. Same with VWAP and the cloud. So if you have any questions, please leave a message. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and to like our page. And if you want to get in contact with us, we do have information in the description below. And thank you for joining me, and we will see you next time. Take care.